Now I would like to continue with this question. For another individual who is to retire 15 years from now, okay, for another individual who is to retire 15 years from now, the lump sum price shall be discounted by another 15 years at 5% as follows. So this is another situation. We already understand in our first situation where the price, the PV of the annuity, if we calculate the lump sum as well as the monthly payment of 1,000 per month for 25 years, as well as this is actually referring to the 250,000 of the lump sum payment at the end of the 25 years, we can now understand that the PV of the annuity is 242,872. But for this question, this is another situation where, alright, this is actually the annuity where monthly they will pay 1,000 per month for 25 years, as well as the 250k at the end of the 25 years. So we now understand that the PV of annuity is 242,872. But if we are referring to this case, if that individual plan to retire 15 years from now, so how much lump sum you need to have now to buy the annuity? 15 years from now, mean that retirement is actually 15 years from now. So means that we are here, we still have another 15 years before we retire. And once we retire, we understand that the price of the PV is actually 242,872. Okay, so let's say we are here now and we still have another 15 years from now for us to start with the retirement. So at this point of time, okay, for now, how much lump sum you need to have now to buy the annuity? So now is actually here, therefore, all right, we have to calculate the value of this annuity now, right? So as in this calculation, the PV of annuity, this is actually PV because we want to calculate the value of the annuity over 25 years. But once we are calculating the PV of now, which means this PV will become the FV in our calculation. Okay, this is important for you to understand that this PV is now becoming the FV, the future value in our calculation. Therefore, based on our calculation, this 242,872, if we bring back to the PV now, the value is 116,826. Alright, so which means if you still have another 15 years to retirement to buy this annuity, if you want to buy this annuity using a lump sum now, which means at this point of time, you must have a lump sum of 116,826. Okay, so based on the calculation, if you have 116,826 now, you are going to retire in the next 15 years, you can pay the price of annuity using lump sum. Alright, so which means now, if you have 116,826, you have no problem. Once you reach retirement, you can pay this because you have enough money to pay for the price of the annuity. And if we want to check using the financial calculator, surely you can prove this by checking on the CMPD. Set begin N is 15, I is 5, PV, this is the one that we are going to solve. The FV is 242,872, payment is 0, PY and CY both are equal to 1. If you check the PV, then you can get the amount of 116,826. Alright. Alright, now we're going to look at another case where the rate of return change from 5% to 4%. So based on this calculation, we can see that the rate is 5% based on our calculation or our example before. So now if we look at the current situation where we change the R from 5% to 4%, we can see that the price of annuity, okay, the price of annuity is higher than this. All right, so once the rate of return reduce, at the rate of 5%, the price of the annuity is 242,872. But after, we consider that the rate of return reduced from 5 to 4, the price of the annuity become increased. Now become 281,575. Okay, where this is the PV of the annual payment of 1,000. All right, and this is the PV of the 250,000 cash that will be received at the end of the 25 years. All right, so if you want to check on this calculation, I've also provided you with the calculation here for CMPD and N equal to 300, I equal to 0.3333, because now R is 4%. All right, so divide with 12, and then we solve the PV, and the FV is 250,000. This is for this case, and as for this, the PMT is negative 1,000. And then we solve for the PV. Right, remember that the N must be 300 because it's per monthly, and then we can get here 189,460. Another method that can be used for us to buy the annuity is by using regular payment. Let's say we want to retire 15 years from now. Okay, so how much should be the yearly payment that we should make in order for us to collect, okay, this amount, okay, in order for us to buy the annuity? Therefore, instead of paying 116,826 now in one single payment, if you still have time for accumulation of wealth, we can make a regular payment by yearly or by monthly. So let's say this is the amount that we want, 242,872. Okay, this is the price of the annuity, and we still have another 15 years before we reach retirement. How much actually we should make the payment, all right, every year? Therefore, we can check on our calculator. CMPD, set begin and 15, because we have another 15 years. R is 5%, and the FV that we want is 242,872. Therefore, the payment is 10719. Okay, so this is the payment yearly that we have to make if we want to collect 242,872 another 15 years to enable us to buy the annuity. And in the case that, let's say, the rate of return is lowered to 4%, we can see that the yearly payment also increased from 10,719 to 11,663. Okay, so we can check this using the calculator, where this one is 5, as in this case I is 4, but at the end of the day we can see that the payment amount is higher than when the rate of return is 5%. Alright, another method that can be used for us to purchase the annuity is by using lump sum plus regular payment, which means partially we can use lump sum and the remaining we can use regular payment. As for this example, alright, it is assumed that 25,000 will be used as an initial payment, and in regards to the remaining of the price of the annuity, we are going to use regular payment for that. So how you can compute the payment each month if that will be the situation? All right, so therefore, okay, we have to check how much should we pay every month after we deduct the initial payment of 25,000. All right, so now we understand the situation is where the FV of annuity is 242,872, and the PV of the annuity is 116,825, where we can actually use this calculation for us to get the PV of the annuity. Okay, so let's say you already, because we already know based on this case, the FV of annuity is 242872. How we can convert this to PV? Use this calculation in the financial calculator. Set begin and 15, because we still have another 15 years for us to make a saving, as in this case, I equal to 5%. The PV is the one that we're going to solve. Payment is 0. FV is 242872. PY 1, CY 1. Therefore, now we understand that the PV of annuity is 116825, and we want to make an initial payment of 25,000. So 116825 minus with the initial payment, we can now understand that the balance of the PV that we must have is 91,825. Okay, 91,825, where this is something that we want to pay using regular payment. Okay, so what we need to do now is to convert this to FV. Okay, we convert this to FV, then we can get the amount now is 190897. Okay, this is actually in PV. Now we convert to FV. Okay, N is 15, I is 5. Now the amount in FV in future value is 190897. Alright, so let's say we want to calculate yearly regular payment. Yearly regular payment for 190897. You go to the calculator. Okay, begin and 15I5. Every is 190897. The payment solved is 8425. Okay, 8425. So this is the payment every year that we have to make in order for us to collect another 190,897, another 15 years before we retire, and at the same time we already make an initial payment of 25,000. Alright, we're showing off the calculation again in case it is not clear for you. So I hope that you can get the calculation that I've prepared here. Alright, and this is how we are going to calculate for the payment every year, okay, using financial calculator. Another things that you need to know about annuity is where annuity scheme is partially, certain annuity scheme is partially guaranteed. For example, the monthly payment is guaranteed, you know, like 1,000 monthly payment for 25 years is guaranteed, but the maturity value or the terminal value depends on the performance of the investment. Let's say we take an example. Let's say the return that has been promised is actually 5%, but let's say because it's based on the performance, in this case, if it increased to 8%, okay, then we can see that the retiree is actually making a lot of money or making a lot of profit. So under the case where the interest rate of return increased from 5% to 8%, the retiree will have an option whether they want to have a terminal value of 250,000 but increase the monthly retirement to 1612, because originally it's just 1,000 but now can increase to 1612, or they can use the B where the terminal value now can increase to 831696 but the monthly retirement is maintained for 1,000. So can you imagine at the end of the 25 years, okay, where this retiree already old, but at the same time the terminal value is, you know, like very, very high. So in the case, if the situation is like that, then of course retiree will make a lot of money, and as a financial planner you need to give a suggestion for the retiree, possibly how they can make an arrangement for that huge of money, is either for legacy or for children or other beneficial purposes. Alright, as for this case, which is actually referring to when the rate of return increases from 5% to 6.5%, you should have a look at the case 4, where a retirement annuity scheme assume that 242872 will be sufficient to provide regular income source of 1,000 per month for 300 months, and a final terminal value of 250,000 at the end of 25 years. The rate of return was assumed to be 5% per annum. So Albert is age 40 and paid 116826 for the annuity. Okay, because obviously he is about to retire another 15 years. This is actually very similar to the case that we already discussed before, where the FV that he need to pay in lump sum. Alright, if you remember the calculation that I just shown you, alright, if they want to make a payment in lump sum for the FV of the PV of the annuity of 242872, then the lump sum is 116826. So by the time Albert reached retirement age of 55, because he already paid 15 years before, he already have this lump sum. Once he reached 55, the actual performance was 6.5 per annum. Okay, which means the amount of fund available for retirement increases to 308,911. Okay, so we can see the original value of the annuity is 242872, but because of the change of the rate of return from 5 to 6.5%, now it increases to 308,911. Okay, so should the additional retirement fund, you can see that then there is a gap. Okay, the difference is actually, the increment is actually 66,039. Okay, that is the difference between this and this. Okay, therefore, if he want to increase the monthly regular payment, then we can calculate, because originally it's just 1,000, but if he want to increase the original regular payment 1,000 using this money 66039, then we can see it's now increased to 1386. Okay, but in the case that Albert want to take out the money at the end of the 25 years, which means that he will just have 1,000 regular payment every month. That like at the end, we understand that after 25 years they can get 250k. But if he wants to hold this money till like the end of the period of the retirement, then the money is now increased from 250k, now become 479,899. Okay, what actually the benchmark for us to select the retirement annuity? As a financial planner, we should look at the past performance of the fund, make sure that the fund is having a good track record and possibly have a good future. This is something that we have to look at. And also we have to check on the rate of return must be higher than EPF, must be higher than the Merdeka bond. This is another retirement product offered by the government. And also we also have to check on the other benefits of the retirement scheme. For example, like in the case of death, in the case of medical, what are other advantage or package that has been given by the annuity. Okay. Other benefits of annuity scheme is where it will actually encourage people to keep money, and in the case of the premature death, that money still can be used for the purpose of the heirloom, like the children, for example, or if they want to keep it as a legacy, or if they want to make it as a wakaf, then it will be one of the very good investment as well. Okay, that's all for this chapter. You already learned a lot in this chapter, basically about EPF calculation, pension, as well as for annuity. That's all for this lecture. Assalamualaikum and bye-bye.